What a big week coming up at Woodbine. Thanks so much for tuning in here as we're getting ready to talk Thursday Woodbine. So 4 days of racing this week. It is the King's Plate on Sunday. Huge field lining up, and we will be talking Woodbine racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Remember, Thursday, you'll have that later first post, 4:50 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday and Friday, you have the early pick five that starts in race number 2 with a $50,000 guarantee. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it flips to the $100,000 guarantee. And there will be a couple graded stakes races on Saturday. 2 graded stakes races plus another stakes, the Bold Venture, the King Edward, and the Sweetbriar 2. And then on Sunday, you'll have the King's Plate, the Soaring Free, the Grade 2 Dance Smartly, and the Catch a Glimpse stakes action on Sunday for the big one, the King's Plate. Let's dive into Thursday. Let's build the bankroll this week. Let's make sure we've got plenty to fire away with for Sunday. Now, those of you who are watching this, we're going to dive into the daily racing form past performances. DRF formulator, those are the style of past performances I like to use because you can click on the replays, you can click on the charts, you can click on the pedigree information, and you can get those past performances for free when you sign up for a DRF Bets account. Quick, easy process. Go right now, use the promo code WINNING, sign up for a DRF Bets account. They're going to give you a $10 free bet, boom, right off the bat. Deposit $250 because that's the max that you can, and they will match that. So all of a sudden, you'll have $510. They're going to give you 10 of these past performance credits, and then every time you bet another $50, you'll get another additional credit. So if you keep playing the races with your DRF Bets account, you're not going to be paying for past performances there. Let's dive into the second race. Let's talk about this early pick five. $50,000 guarantee in the early pick five. And remember, you can play all of these wagers with the 20-cent based wager, the pick fives, pick threes, tries, supers. And we're going to get into the second race, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. We got 15,000 non-winners of 2. I'm going to look towards the outside to a couple. I like the 8 a little bit here, Talana. This one will try the turf again. First time she tried the turf was in her career debut. It was in a stakes race last year, and she had it wasn't the smoothest of trips, and it was against a pretty good group. It was in a stakes race. The winner that day is a horse named Ancient Spirit, and that one came back to win their next. Ancient Spirit came back to finish second, beaten just the neck in the South Ocean following that to end her season. So a 2-time winner who's also a horse who was really sharp after that win, coming right back. Now, we look at Tamana's grass pedigree. The dam never tried the turf, but she did produce a couple winning turf siblings. So positive there. You can see why they want to give her another shot on the grass. They've even worked her recently on the turf in the morning. She's going to go third start off the bench right now. And coming off that nice win last time out, just feel like she's on the improve. Third start of the form cycle. Now she gets to the grass where she might have been, meant all along. I like Tamana. The 11, Lip Lock, I think is the horse to beat coming off those back-to-back pretty good efforts. June 25th, it was the first start off the bench. Nice improvement. Not really on the speed figure, but just got the better of the field on July the 23rd. So she really doesn't have to improve a whole lot. I mean, she could just come right back with that effort, lightly raced with some upside. I mean, she was right with the leader. She sat third inside. She did get shuffled a bit. She waited and she moved in between horses, and then she put away the other favorite that day. So I thought she's a player, a top-tier player. The 5 also, very logical. Crash the crease up close, was 3 wide, was in the 2-path pressing, and then just faded late. They're just trying to figure out where this one fits. She tried a little bit tougher last time out. Now they'll drop in class. If you wanted to go a little bit deeper, maybe the 7, catchy name. Could include this one, who might be one of the quickest in here, stretching out from 6. Now you're going to 7.5, and coming out of some quicker races, like pretty races that have had some serious fractions early. She's been right on the lead, going sub 23 fractions. So that should put her, up front early on in here. And maybe you want to throw her in, give her a flyer at 10-1 to kick off the early pick 5. 8, 11, 5, and 7 for me as we move along to race number 3. This one is 7 furlongs. It's a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up. I'm going to take a swing against the number 1, Alpha Meister. He is super talented, but he's a little quirky. If you look at a few of his races, he's been out on the track 4 times, and a couple of them he's just completely missed the break. Like his last start, Alpha Meister, he's the number 4 in the race that we're watching right now. And he just stands in the gate. Like, just doesn't get out and then spots the field completely. And then he gets back into contention, but so many times he's had to work hard just to sort of get back in with the field. Now what concerns me is he draws the rail, which could be difficult for a horse who's already had some issues at the start. So I think the additional distance will help with those slow starts, but if he's a short price, I might take a swing against him in here. I'm looking at a couple horses. The 3, Celentano. Now, he comes off of a race where he had a good start. He was right with the leaders, and then he backed off on the inside. He was about 2 lengths off, and he was inside of 3 horses that were lined up, and things got really tight. It wasn't like he had a bunch of excuses, but he really wasn't stopping. He was sort of a weird race. He's going to go 3rd start off the bench. I would love if they get aggressive in here. That's what I want, because I think naturally he's one of the quicker horses in here. I could see him being right on the lead. There's just not that much other legitimate speed. Maybe the 7, Proud Ronin, who I would use if you want to go deep just because of that. This guy could catch a flyer from the outside and just put himself in a good spot. I don't think the 5 is quick as some of these. The 6 was the other horse for me, Coherence. You look at like 2 or 3 of his races, they're just better than anybody else's races. Even that last start, if we're just playing off of speed figures, he wasn't really in the race, but he lost to a horse named Touch and Ride. Touch and Ride earned a 91 buyer in winning, and he has the best speed figure of any horse that's going to be running in the King's Plate, Touch and Ride. He's likely going to be in the King's Plate. I'm recording this on Tuesday night, so the King's Plate draw is going to be Wednesday morning. By the time a lot of you hear this, that field will already have been drawn. Coherence, to me, is just a major player because he's coming out of some very strong races. And like, what if in the last 2 races they were just farther than really where he wants to go? Like, this 7 furlong should be perfect. Look back to May the 20th. I think it just should hit him right between the eyes. I feel like he's the horse to beat, the one to hold off. Proud Ronin, we mentioned a little bit. He exits a tough race. The 2 is a kind of a fun long shot. He got steadied back just after the start, and he never really had a shot because the winner in that race went wire to wire. So I'm not ready to just give up on him. And, the 4, Wet and Wild. The Dam won the debut going 5 furlongs on the synthetic, so there is some precocity here in the pedigree. I'm going to use 3, 6 all over the place here. Try to beat the 1. If you're trying to go deep in here, 2, 4, and 7 were in my next tier of horses to use, but I'll be trying to get through this one with the 36. Let's move to race number 4. 6 furlongs on the turf course here. Maidens, 3-year-olds and up. And the horse to beat in here, I thought was the 5. I think he's just really fast. July 9th. I mean, all 3 of his races, he's showed pretty good speed. Back in June of 2022, he's right on the lead. And then he's off for 13 months. Shows back up 13 months later, just misses in a race where he's right in the mix throughout. He had a good start. He was second. He was just off behind Tasman. And then he backed up 3 lengths off. And then he came again to challenge up to the lead in the 2 path. He battled the length of the stretch with Tasman. It was a tough beat second that day for Astapovo. Then last out, it was a good start. He was in the 3 path. He was in between horses, like a line of 5. They all lined up. They all wanted the lead. And he kind of backed up, and then he just kept shuffling back. It was brutally unlucky. Now, feels like a good spot. Third start off the long layoff. I don't know if anyone is as quick as him in here, and he's cutting back, and he's getting back to the turf. Just lots of positives. Major player in here. The 11, Mia said, I'll probably try to get through this one with 5'11". Mia said, moved nicely to the lead, was sitting just off, moved to the lead, but then was tackled by a couple others, held third. Now you cut back, drawn well, exiting some strong races. Lots of positives for Mia said, who can sit a really nice trip. 5'11" all over the place. Do you want to go a little deeper? If so, I would suggest the 9, Hungry Wolf. Another one who's cutting back and might be able to show like a little sit in here now, cutting back after going a mile and 7 and 7.5. Now back to 6 furlongs. So I don't think he's as quick as a few others. That could put him with some of his speed in a good spot, and then maybe he's got a little fitness turning back. The 6 and 7, Dancing Deputy, gets Lasix for the first time, could be forwardly placed in here. They're trying to figure out where this guy fits. And Amazon Forester, another one who's going to be getting Lasix for the first time. They're going to be trying the grass. You've got Amazon Forester, kind of more of a pace factor, I think. Dancing Deputy's dam did win twice on the turf, was stakes placed, and has 2 winning turf siblings. Couple long shots if you're going deeper, or maybe horses to use underneath. 5'11" in that top tier for me. Then 6, 7, 9 would be intriguing prices, however you're building your tickets. Let's get to race number 5. We are going 5 furlongs on the turf course, on the inner turf course here. Horses to mention, the 4 Golden Wind. Let's watch this race. This horse completely misses the break. This is the 8 that we're watching. And then has to take up again early in the stretch. I thought it was a very good effort. Let's watch Golden Wind. Way out of it early, right? So you're making your career debut, and you just completely miss the break. And you're spotting the rest of the field, like 5 lengths between you and the next closest horse to you. But didn't get discouraged. Was just comfortably handled back there. And now you'll start to see Golden Wind get into a nice stride and start to move into contention. So just keep an eye on the horse at the back of the pack. Moving down inside. All of a sudden, there's a nice opening. And quickly, Golden Wind sort of up into contention. And that momentum is built up. But now, all of a sudden, nowhere to go. The horses had ducked down to the rail. Do I think Golden Wind was going to win this race? No, but even here, she's still kind of trying. He's still trying, like looking for a spot, and then he has to angle out. So not easy for a horse who completely misses the break, then starts to build up that momentum and had to wait, and then shift out. It was a lot to ask. I think there's some ability here. The number 4, Golden Wind, all over the place for me. 20-1 on the morning line. If we get anything over 8, I thought this horse could be maybe more like a 6-1 shot in here. The 8, Chairman Rainbow. This is the horse to beat. This horse moved through a tight spot inside, got caught in traffic, dove to the rail, but sort of lost some momentum and was just behind the leaders. Just didn't have a whole lot of space down there. Now the blinkers come off. I think this is the horse to beat. Others to include for me, the number 3, Old Blue Cliff, who dam won on the turf and was stakes placed on it. This was actually a full sibling to Pink Lloyd, 29-time winner, multiple graded stakes winner, 1.8 million in earnings, but not turf. The one last Monarch, third off the bench, has a couple winning grass siblings, comes off of back-to-back runner-up efforts, and now we'll see if they can transfer that one over to the turf. I'm 4-8 all over the place. You want to go a little deeper, 3 and 1 would be that next group for me as we move to the 6th race. This one is fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, which is started for a claiming price of $7,500 or less over the last 2 years. 6.5 furlongs, the distance. Looking at a few in here, I just feel like there's a ton of early speed. The one loaded Vixen is quick. The 2 silent ghosts very quick. They don't really look like they want to sit either. The 3 hard to capture. I think they're going to want to be forwardly placed and be right on the engine off that good effort last time out, right on the lead. So those 3 inside horses could all be pushing it. Then you add in a horse like Lois Len and even a horse like No Whammy, who I think could get a pretty good trip in here because she has a little bit of speed. I just don't think she's as fast as some of the others. She'll be in the mix for me. But I'm leaning towards the 7 Starlight Ridge. This to me looks like a race ripe for a deeper closer. And I think she's best on synthetic. She's an off-the-pace type. She likes this trip exactly. 6.5 on the synthetic. It's good for these late closers, late runners. She gets some pace to run out in here with all that speed down to the inside. And to her outside, the 8 Olympic Fencer is another one I think could sit a pretty good trip. If you look at her last 3 synthetic races, she's 4th last time out. She's only beaten a couple lengths in a race where there's not a ton of passing. She's then on the turf. Prior to that, she's winning and a runner-up in her other synthetic races. So that form right here over this Woodbine all-weather has been very good. And she's offering you 20-1 on the morning line. 7-8 will be in the mix for me because I think they get the really nice trips in here. The 3 of the speeds, if I was going to use one of them, it would be the 3. And I want to use the 6 No Whammy too. I think she's got enough natural speed where she's not going to get outrun by some of them if they go really quick down inside. And she could fall into a really nice spot. So I would use 7, 8, 3, and 6 to try to close this out. You want to go deeper. The 2 Silent Ghost would be another one in the mix for me. Quick, honest, but I don't know if she's going to get the setup. And then, 7, 8, 3, 6, and 2. But that'll be the way we close out this pick 5. I always try to give you different combinations. I know some people play really small tickets, others play bigger tickets, and whatever's relative to you. I wish you the best of luck on Thursday over at Woodbine. Race 2 kicks off the $50,000 guarantee pick 5. Let's see if we can cash a ticket or 2. We'll have lots to talk about this week at Woodbine. It's a big one with the King's Plate on